Hello and welcome back. Today I have something really nice, and I found again a Nixie Fluke, and this time it's the 8120A, and it is still working. The only thing I thought that maybe it was not original because it has this power switch that is just a flip switch, and usually Fluke always have the push buttons. And as you can see here, I have the 8600 as a square push button. I have here the 8000 as a push button. Even the newer series, the 8010 has a square push button. And here we have the 8200. I did those last week or 2 weeks ago, and it has a square push button. So I really needed to take the old catalog. And it indeed, this is an original switch. There should be a little rubber cap on it, but only on the switch, not to close it. But so it is original. So that is it's nice. And as you can see, they look quite similar. Well, this one I already cleaned, and this one still needs a proper cleaning job. But you can see the similarities. Both have Nixie tubes. And for the people that are watching longer my videos, they remember maybe that I had the military version, and this is the 8120, and the military version was the 8125. And I will just get it so you can see it. And here it is, the 8125. It's the military version. It can handle a lot of shocks. If you put the front on it, it's waterproof. Yeah, it's really a military version. And this one also can come with does come with batteries, and I think it can even go to minus minus a lot, because it can heat itself. It is a heating element in it, and well, we can switch it. Here is the same as you see, a flip switch, so that's where it comes from. They both have the flip switch, and after that they start using the square push buttons. So yeah, this one has rubber caps, and it is even here when the temperature is too low that it cannot heat himself, you will have this alarm, so that you need to wait until it's hot. What I did remember with the 8200 is that before cleaning, the measurements were slow that I did with the voltage reference, and I was wondering if it was just my imagination or if it's true. So we can compare those, but then still it could be that this one is just because it's a higher version, that the sampling is just faster. But then we can compare these two, because this should be exactly the same series, only this one is military, but that's more the housing and the heating. So if I get my voltage reference, and I can show you what I mean with the speed of switching. We both put them on DC 10 volts, DC 10 volts, DC 10 volts. Okay, so if I now use my voltage reference, and I will be switching over, and then you will see what I mean. So now it says this is the 2.5, which is actually 2.49897. So it is spot on. But if I switch over, click, you can see it takes like 1.5 seconds. It's doing twice. It takes 2 samples to get the value right. Here, click, tuck, tuck. You see, 2 samples. Tuck, tuck. And I think I had the same with this one, but after we cleaned it, and especially the switches, it was a lot faster. But it could be my imagination, so we're going to try the same. Put 2.5 volts, and then you will see what I mean. Because I switch now to the next, puff. I switch to the next, puff. Switch to the next, bam. It's immediately there. So that could be because the model is older and the sampling is lower, but here we have more or less the same one. And let's compare that. So here we do again 10 volts, puff, puff. That took 2, puff, puff. And you see this one, it is so old, and this one too, and the values are just amazing. Here, bang. It says 2498, 249897. So, and the 5 should be exactly 5. Puff, 5. And you see, it doesn't take 2 samples, it is there immediately. So now I'm just wondering if that will be the, if it's just the cleaning, and then we have our answer. Yeah, it takes. And then we see the result after. Let's start. Okay, now we have a closer look, and why I think that we really should do a nice cleaning job is because you see that the display has little scratches, so we try to polish those out. Here, yeah, you can just see here is some red paint, so hopefully we can remove that. The display is also not that bright, so I'm convinced we can get that better. Yes, and yeah, you can just see it's a lot of dirt. So, but first we are going to open it. Well, we know it's working, and it actually was calibrated very well if I compare to my frequency standard, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm very happy with this package. Yeah, cleaning is just opening, so I'm just gonna start doing that. Later I will put also time lapse for the bits that are less interesting, maybe. And the cover I will do last, so I will go from in to out with the cleaning process. And yeah, as you can see, this can really use a proper cleaning. This I remember from 8200. There are screws here, but the screws you should not untie, and I did that because this is the battery compartment underneath, and so if you untie these screws, the battery compartment just falls down. What you need to do to remove this cover is just untie these screws here and here, and then you can take the whole battery compartment out. And yeah, this is what I mean. It is a few years old, so there's not much you can do as an owner to but it looks good. It doesn't have any moisture, so happy. So it's all removed, and this one didn't have the battery compartment because I remember in the other one it still has it, and then I had 4 screws. But here is only the clip, so I think it's taken out, or the option was never installed. And it was really silly that I did that the other time, because it actually says, no, don't unscrew the screws on the top, screw from the side. But I was just talking to the camera and just unscrewing, and then I hear boom, all the batteries were down. Now, and if we now have a good look from the top, it really looks nice. It is well preserved, and yeah, there is nothing we need to do here. I'm just gonna, it's almost only cleaning the outside and the display. This is really nice. We are going to the bottom. Yeah, and just like the 8200, you can see very easily where to adjust if you need to adjust, so you almost don't need a manual to do this, maybe only for the order. And you can see that yeah, it came dust between the bottom and the cover here, because it is all As you can see, it's oxidated a little bit and scratched, but all in all, it looks nice. Yeah, it seems they added some extra board here and an extra row of switch, and it says here it is a shunt assembly, so maybe there is an option, and I didn't even check that. So usually there is a sticker in the bottom that says what option is there. I don't see that. Maybe it's in the back. It is indeed in the back. And no, there are no extra options. At least it's not marked. Yeah, the option that I have is battery power. Well, we saw that, it's not there. And printer output. Okay, so the way the shunts are placed is the normal. I don't remember this from the 8200, and also I don't remember. I think with the 8200 I just had one row of switches here, and not a second row for the shunt, and not a third row for whatever it's used for. And they are using all these funny sticks, so it's all very mechanical. Yeah. I do want to clean also these row of switches and these row of switches. So to get there, I will need to take the shunt board off, and yeah, I'll just do that. Yeah, as I mentioned before in my other videos, these switches don't switch one thing, and here it's even more clear, because it's not that they have one long switch as you see in the newer multimeters, but here they really have 3 rows. Here is a row of switches, here is a row of switches. These buttons actually push 1, 2, 3 switches at the same time, and they use this funny, yeah, straws, I would almost say. So yeah, it looks funny. So, but now we have a little bit better view at the switches. We know the machine is good. The inside is not that dirty, so I'm not gonna do too much other than just cleaning. And as I promised, I will show you exactly what I use, what contact cleaner. And my experience is that it works very good. Okay, I am not sure if I remove the front later, if I have a better access to these switches, because it just needs to go in here. So I can already do these switches. Also, these switches I can better reach when I'm here. But first, I need to try to get in here. So I want to tilt it a little bit forward, so when the spray comes in, it really goes into the switches. So I will just put something underneath and fold this one away. And I'm using this. It's WD-40. It is not the standard WD-40, but it is special contact cleaner, and it doesn't leave any residue. At least that's what they say, and it's quick drying. So, and you can just spray, but don't overdo it. Overdoing it really just, you know, just spray it in carefully while pushing the buttons, so you can make space. And then it is just, of course, moving. Because the problem is with these switches, if there is too much resistance, then you could have a slow reading, or or they act like a sort of a capacitor, and then you really see the, well, a little bit what we saw, that the value just needs 2 scans to okay, that's it, no rocket science. And I'm trying to do also in the back, but I can reach that later, so I think the best now is to do this one, and we can reach it from the back, I see. That is perfect. I don't know if I can also, no, I cannot reach from the front, but it will slowly get in there. Now, always, if you have funny readings on your multimeters when they are old, always clean the switches. It really fixes most of the problems. Now we're just going to put this back. Now we clean the last row of switches, and it's the same, you spray the stuff in and push the buttons later. So I will first spray in, let's see. Not too much, not too little. Just really try to get in there. And then again, fiddle with the switches to get the dirt off the contacts. And I'm just not being too careful, but also not being too rough. Okay, now I want to see if I can just remove the front, because then we have a better access also to if we can have the front off, then we can just clean the front easily. And also the buttons, because if you look underneath the buttons, some are melted and some are really dirty. The melted one here, I try to polish a little bit to see if we can make that look better. And also the display, I hope I can polish a little bit to make it shine a little bit more. And it seems that I only need to unscrew the switch. In the back here I need to take off the power leads, so that looks that, and yeah, that's more or less it. And the screws, of course, in the side. Okay, I needed to desolder the wire, and of course I need a lot of heat to do that, because all the terminals now need to heat. And then instead of putting that, they put the wire just behind it, they put some sort of hook, so I really need to heat it well and then unhook it, and then it was loose. There was one extra nut behind the display right here, you should not forget if you open it, but then you can slowly try to pull the to the front, and then there is more space to do that last terminal, which I will do now. And now I need to unhook it somehow. So, there it went. Yes, and now we can nicely clean. As you can see, the display is not clear, but that is just cleaning and polishing, so that is perfect. If it has batteries, this one didn't, and also it hasn't had that, because that is clear now, because the battery meter is usually in here and it's not there, so it was not made with the battery option. As you can see, the buttons can use some cleaning, and now we have perfect access to that. So we start with that, and we try to unscrew, and then we can also do the nixies, because you can see it apparently attracted some dust, and if we clean that carefully, it's gonna look a lot better. To have better access to the nixies, I'm also gonna take this plastic cover off, and then we can carefully clean. Okay, the cleaning. Well, I first start when it's a little bit greasy or dirty. These are just kitchen cloths, and they smell it smells like lemon. But they are good. Sometimes if you do this on plastic gets a little bit white. And then I have this baby cloths. It is it has a little bit of lotion, but very little. So it doesn't get greasy, but it takes the white stuff out. So first I use this just to get clean. And then if it still doesn't want to clean, you can of course use the IPA alcohol. This I use for big surfaces, and sometimes like these meters here, this is kind of white, and then you want to have it even cleaner than that, and this I found works even. I will put a link also of most of the stuff if I can find. This stuff really works great. If you have white plastic, it almost just restores. Here it will probably not be necessary. I can probably just use this, but this is a little bit stronger, and I only use when I need, because this is a lot cheaper than this stuff. And for the display, if there are little scratches, I polish this usually with a brush cleaner. In a soft cloth you need to be very careful, but most of the scratches just even out because you kind of polish. But if you do it here, you need to be careful that you don't polish the black off, so you really only need to do the display. So with a lot of other meters you can just take out the screen only, but here it is stuck, so I'm not sure if I even going to do that. So I need to think, I need to see. Maybe I can carefully do it, or I put some tape around and then I just polish the display. I need to think, maybe just cleaning is enough. And after you've done that, you remove all the scratches. You just use a simple window cleaner, a Windex or something, and then of course the window gets very clear. That works. And I use also the same for the nixies, but I don't spray on the nixies, of course. I just spray on the cloth, not too much, and then I just carefully wipe the nixies. You need to be careful with the nixies, but that usually works fine. Yeah, I have here that little button that is burnt, And what I'm trying to do is I will cut with the knife a little bit the burnt away, and from the front it's probably I cannot do too much, but at least it will look more square. Okay, the switches look a lot better, a lot cleaner, and I think it look a little better than melted. We cannot do too much more than this, but I think the result is getting there. And now we're gonna see if we can carefully clean the nixies. This simple piece of plastic is actually very important because it keeps all the nixies in place. In the top they are here locked in, and here they are locked into compartments, so they stay exactly at the position, and also it makes it stronger for portable use. Now we can focus on the front, and I will zoom in a bit. Now we focus on to the front, and as you can see it is not that clean, and I think I will remove the calibration sticker. And yeah, first I take off all the things so we can better clean. Okay, everything is now from the front, so we can really have a good clean. And as you can see here, there is here also a lot of dirt, so I try to get this out with the brush. Also here in the edges, and some of the metal is bent back, so here you see, so I'm trying to carefully try to push it back if possible. So most of it is done. You can see the display is much more clear. We don't need to polish. I'm not going to do that because, as you can see, the black is already a little bit damaged with scratches. I will put back the calibration sticker, I think, because it was hiding some damages. So now we're gonna put it back together. So the front is done. I think we improved it a lot. I put back the calibration sticker because it just hides some of the scratches, and yeah, I think we did a great job, and the window is really clear. So I think the nixies will just pop out later. So we put the front back on the counter. Okay, first I used the IPA alcohol to clean the whole surface, and yeah, it indeed, you can see, it did work. I had some darker spots that I needed to do with my very good cleaner with this one, and now you can see it is very clean. But the plastic, because of the alcohol, can turn a little bit whitish. It can be a little bit whitish glow. And then I use my baby lotion cloths, but there is very little lotion. But it is just enough to take the dry off. And now it seems like there is a lot, but it is not, because it will just evaporate. So it is a lotion, but it is very soft, mostly white. And we can do also with the clean cloth again, and then it gets a nice, yeah, perfect. And here is the result. Look at this. The terminals are super clean, the buttons look a lot nicer, and the display is super clear. I like that. I think we did a very nice job. Yeah, then there is only one thing that we need to check. Was the cleaning job, did the cleaning job help to have a faster scan time, or is it just that the model is not that fast? So let's see, we have the voltage reference again, switch it on. Value is still good. Yeah, you see it still needs, so apparently this meter is just a little bit slower than the other two, because everything has been clean and tuck. But it is spot on. And then you think, why is it not exactly 10? No, it should not be exactly 10, because it should be 10,0,0,0,7,4, which is actually 1, and that's exactly what it's doing. And here also the 2499 is 24989, so 5, look, the one here, perfect. So that's it. I'm happy with the result. The video took a little bit, it's longer as usual. I explain a lot more about the cleaning process itself, so I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe you learned something. And yeah, this is gonna go in my collection. I really like the results. The display is super clear. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.